views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hola everyone, welcome to Open, the one and only show bringing the best of the Bronx, New York, and the world straight to you. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche every Friday. Here's what's coming up in today's show. Leading things off, we'll discuss all things skincare when we sit down with a representative from the Schweiger Dermatology Group, who will be providing some tips for your skin this summer. After that, we'll hear what the Multicultural Music Group has in store for their upcoming musical event focusing on African American culture and African American diaspora. And then we'll sit down with filmmaker Jenny Ruiza and learn the inspiration behind Her Kind, a short film that encourages acts of kindness. And later on in the show, Bobby C brings us up to date with the latest headlines in the world of sports. And lastly, we'll find out about the 12th annual highly anticipated New York City Dance Parade and what to expect with a sneak peek performance. So sit back y prepárate. All this and more is coming your way because now we are officially open. Hello and welcome to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host of Café con Leche, always inviting you to get social with us online. That's right, tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV and or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, don't forget to follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, Snapchat, Insta Stories, LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. All right, so as summer quickly approaches, having clear and healthy skin is one of the things that both men and women take into consideration. And for many people, clearing breakouts and treating dry and oily skin can be a challenge. And joining us now to give us some skincare tips, we welcome Schweiger Dermatology Group Physician Assistant Mary Thornton. I hope I said that right.
You did.
I said Schweiger. It's almost like a...
You got it. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being here and welcome.
Thank you.
To the Bronx.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Well, we're excited you're here, especially, to discuss certain aspects of who we are, right, as human beings, and just certain things that we should be taking into consideration, especially living in the city with the air, the pollution, and skin is definitely at the top of the list, primarily for teenagers, but what about us adults?
Well, adult acne is very common. I actually treat more adults for acne than I do teens. So it is very important that you follow a good skincare regimen. It's interesting, you mentioned about the city, the pollution. I have so many patients who, when they move to the city, they say, I never used to break out and now I'm breaking out. And so, it just goes to show that your environment does play a role. But it is kind of important to try to figure out what your triggers are, what's causing the acne, and that's where, your dermatologist can come into play. But I do recommend that everybody, kind of get to the root of what's causing the acne. And a lot of times acne starts as basically a little, clogged pore, and you get this little plug in the pore. So something that can help with that is salicylic acid in the form of a cleanser or a serum, and that will help clear out the pore. Other things that...
Is there like a layman's term for salicylic acid?
So it's in a lot of products that are over the counter. That's why I'm kind of starting with that. It's over the counter, so you don't need a prescription for it. And a lot of cleansers like Neutrogena, that contains salicylic acid. So that's a good thing to start with. Sometimes that's not what's going to be what ultimately helps, but that's a good place to start.
Right, depending on the condition, all right?
Exactly.
And so, just out of curiosity, do you find that your eating habits play a role in skin?
So, we're not completely sure. But what I tell patients is that there are some foods like processed sugars and or processed carbohydrates, sugars, dairy, things that are pro-inflammatory can potentially exacerbate acne. So while we're not, while stopping certain foods might not improve your acne, it's worth trying. I encourage patients to keep a food journal and see if they do notice any triggers. It's an easy place to start.
Is it genetic?
Yes, there is a genetic component to acne,
Okay.
so that can definitely play a role as well.
All right, well, back to tips. I just wanted
Yeah.
yeah, so, well, just because, I know that teenagers go through it during a certain period, and you're mentioning that you're getting a lot of adult
Yes.
patients, right? And
Yes.
so based on what you just shared with us, the pollution plays a role, eating plays a role, what else would play a role?
Hormones are a huge culprit. So, and that's where you may need to visit a dermatologist if over-the-counter treatments aren't working. Like, for instance, my most common acne patient is a woman in her 30s, and it's usually hormonal in nature. So there is an oral medication called spironolactone, for instance, that is anti-androgen. So it lowers the circulating hormones that are causing the acne. So, sometimes something like that can be really, really helpful. There's retinoids, which turn the skin cells over faster and prevent that debris from, getting trapped in the pore. Also helps with anti-aging. So, a lot of different things that we can throw at the acne depending on what the issue is. And speaking of other causes, stress is also a trigger. Stress increases levels of cortisol in the body, which can lead to higher levels of inflammation in the body and exacerbate acne.
So, okay, so we just went through a whole list, and then there's the weather and the seasons and all these other components that contribute to the skin. So I believe you have some tips on, I guess, eventually summer will arrive.
Yes.
Well, I would like spring first, however.
Yeah, it's a non-existent season lately.
However, we still have to deal with pollen and all these other aspects, right? And I know that loans itself to allergies, and I'm just correlating it all,
Yeah. So as the summer season is approaching, it is really, really important that everyone, regardless of your skin color, wears sunscreen. Everyone is, let's put it this way, no one is immune to skin cancer. While skin cancer is more prevalent in Caucasians, any skin type can develop skin cancer. And not only does the sun cause skin cancer, but it leads to premature aging. It causes sunspots, it causes breakdown of collagen, which can, appear as wrinkles and like sagging skin. So sunscreen is so important for anti-aging as well as preventing skin cancer. And another product that I like to recommend before putting your sunscreen on is vitamin C serum, because it's an antioxidant and it's also going to help with that pollution factor that we talked about before.
That's a great tip.
So
vitamin C
serum. You can put that on before you put on your sunscreen. It boosts collagen, it brightens the skin, and it, like I said, it's an antioxidant, so it's going to help with the pollution factor.
That's great. And so the SPF factor, what's the number that one should use daily?
So we recommend 30 or higher. SPF of 30 blocks about 97% of the rays. If you go up to like a 50, it's 98%. So it's not like, SPF 60 is twice as good as 30, or it lasts twice as long. Once you get to 30, that's blocking out 97%, so that's pretty good. But you definitely want to have at least 30.
That's interesting. Okay, so before we go, what's the most important thing you'd like to share with our viewers?
So sunscreen is, in my opinion, the most important thing, because the most important aspect of my job is preventing skin cancer. May is also Skin Cancer Awareness Month, so I would be remiss if I didn't, really stress the importance of that to everyone. A lot of people ask what my favorite sunscreen is. I like physical sunscreens that use zinc and titanium to block the rays. They tend to be less irritating, so that's a really great choice. Let's see, aside from that, the most important takeaways. Oh, another one that I hear a lot is people with oily skin don't moisturize, because they say, like, I already have oil on my skin. People confuse oil with hydration. So it is still important to hydrate your skin. Hyaluronic acid is a great hydrating agent that isn't going to contribute to more oil production, so it's not going to break you out. That's another good thing that people can do.
So you're using all these wonderful terms that I hope my viewers get. So what kind of products would include that hyaluronic acid?
Yeah, so it's actually the ingredient that's in a lot of dermal fillers like Juvederm and Restylane, but now we're seeing it a lot in products over the counter. So you'll see it on products. It's a big marketing thing now. So you'll actually see it listed on on the packaging. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Mary Thornton.
Thank you for having me.
Those are wonderful tips.
Thanks.
Yeah, and you guys, for a consultation regarding skin treatment, you can visit schweigerdermatology.com or you can call 212-283-3000. All right, we have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll hear about a historical music event that you don't want to miss. Stay right there.
And I can't change, even if I tried, even if I wanted to. My love, my love, my love, she keeps me warm. 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 She keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Love is kind. Love is patient.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. I was inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV and tweet me too while you're there at Rhina Valentin. The Multicultural Music Group organization is all about using symphonic performances to bring awareness to social justice projects and, that depict history, that is. And this month, the organization Youth Orchestra will be a part of the African American Diaspora Experience, and they'll perform a piece related to the culture and people of major African descent groups in the United States. And joining us to tell us more about the event, we welcome Multicultural Music Group Public Relations Representative Larly Mojica. Hello, and welcome.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Well, so what does your role as the public relations representative entail?
Mostly I show up to things like this. I also speak publicly on behalf of the Multicultural Music Group. I've been involved with the organization since I was a child. I played viola in the youth orchestra. I grew up with it, and there's been several generations of students who've been just like me, and we're trying to develop a cohort of students who we follow throughout their years in middle school, high school, and hopefully college in the future.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So you're in there. And so what age range do you, enroll the next generation? Where do you begin? What age?
Middle school.
Middle school.
Around 6 to 10. 6 to 10, around 12 sometimes, depending on what grade they're in. We work with younger students in order to get them thinking at first about how to interact with their world in a more culturally conscious way. It's really important that we deal with young scholars because as they learn about the world, they need to become aware of other people, of the world is more than just themselves, of more than just what they're going to do throughout the day. I think more and more nowadays, young people are becoming very self-centered.
Right.
And we're trying to open that up and think about what are the people who don't look like me? How can I interact with them? What do I know about them? And knowing about other cultures can help to bridge the gap between people who have a lot of resource and people who don't.
Yes, and the beauty of what you guys are doing is you're teaching them substance because we're living in this world right now where everybody's just looking for the fame and the glory without understanding that we serve a grander purpose, right? So let's talk a little bit about the process, right? Because there's history in this program as well, and that's really beautiful.
Yes.
It's beautiful. Your mission is beautiful.
Yes, we have a very distinct program called the symphonic youth program, and we implement a strategy called Playing History, where we integrate history lessons with multicultural music instruction. So one of the songs that we'll play is Strange Fruit by Billie Holiday, and the students will be doing that at the performance, and they'll learn about the Jim Crow South and the horrible things that happened during that time, during the civil rights era, and getting them aware that the freedoms that they enjoy today weren't always there. They were fought for, and not to take that for granted.
Yeah, and so we're talking about Billie Holiday and Strange Fruit and lynching, and while that no longer exists in some aspect, it's still being exercised in other forms,
Yes.
metaphorically speaking,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
And we could talk about Black Lives Matter,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
so
definitely.
this age group that is going to be performing this, how old are they?
They're in middle school, around 12 to 13.
All right, so it's great. We're mobilizing them at a very young age,
Yeah.
right? And then they're using their artistry to send this message. And that's the program in itself, right? It's not just, yes, hone in your craft, but know that there's a voice behind it other than yours.
Yes, definitely, absolutely. And the words that we use, the vocabulary we use makes such a big difference. Did you know the origin of the word picnic is actually quite violent? The original picnics happened when people sat on blankets with food around a person who was hanging from a tree. And the word derives from the word pick, nick. Nick is short for the N word, and it's really violent. So I personally don't say the word anymore.
Well, that's lovely for
Yeah.
you to share that
Yeah.
with us here on
Yeah.
air for those watching. You
Yeah.
just educated hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
Yes, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
So what should we expect at this concert that's coming up?
We should expect readings of African American literature that I'm really excited about because I'll be reading them myself, along with a teacher named Erica Castro from the Multicultural Music Group. And we'll also be having a live orchestra, a full orchestra, playing compositions from...
How large is this orchestra?
I'm not exactly sure how many pieces.
More or less.
More or less, around 40 to 50 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's like...
Yeah, it's
Yes.
beautiful. Lots of different colors with the music. Deep sounds, light sounds, violins, brass. It's going to be beautiful.
And these are all individuals who come under the training.
So we have the Symphonic Youth Program, and we also have an adult multicultural music orchestra. So the adults will be playing as well as the Symphonic Youth.
Okay, so it's all of them together. So it's intergenerational as well.
One after
One after the other. Okay,
Yes.
so they're not all going to be on
Yes.
stage
Yes.
together.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. I can get the visuals, you know? I'm like, yeah, I want to see this. Okay, so the pieces that you're going to be reciting, how did you choose them?
I chose them based on my own personal interest, and also Erica Castro, who has a degree in African American literature from Columbia. She chose her own pieces, like The Color of Water. I'll be reading a piece from James Baldwin, who's one of my favorite authors of all time. Octavia Butler will be reading. And we'll also be doing an original dialogue piece, almost like theater, where we'll be talking about how we should relate to these texts and how we should be thinking about diasporas in general. It's going to be a really informative experience.
Oh my goodness, you're so pleasant. You're such a breath of fresh air. It's so exciting. I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, and congratulations. Okay, so just to share with everybody before we go where they can see this.
They can see this here at Lehman in the Studio Theater. And
When is it happening?
on the 25th,
On the
Friday the 25th.
All right, thank you,
Yes.
Laura.
Thank you. Thank you
my
so
goodness,
much.
That was so wonderful. Oh, I feel good about our next generation. All right, once again, you guys, the Multicultural Music Group African American Diaspora Experience is taking place on May 25th at 7 p.m. at the Lehman College Studio Theater located at 250 Bedford Park Boulevard. All right, we're taking a quick break, but when we return, we're going to hear all about a new Kind short film.
150 over 90.
180 over 111.
160 over 110. I had a stroke. This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a stroke are far from invisible or silent. If you've come off your treatment plan, get back on it, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Hello, welcome to Open, everyone. You know, we're always inviting you to get social with us. That's right. Tweet us at BronxNet TV and tweet me at Rhina Valentin. Okay, so in life, a smile, a pat on the back, a greeting, or even a phone call, it goes a long way, you know, especially for someone who's going through a tough time in their life. And so our next guest decided to create a short film shot on location in the Bronx, encouraging people to be kind to one another. And here to share the inspiration behind her short film, Her Kind, we welcome producer Jenny Ruiza.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for
and
having me.
welcome.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. This is your first time here on Open,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
With me on
With you.
Friday.
Uh-huh.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know what took so long.
I know.
All right. And you know, I'm introducing you as a film producer. However, you do commercials, you do acting. You've got this funny, hysterical lotto commercial going on right now.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
If
And
only I won.
Well, yeah, that would be lovely, right? And you'd be like,
Real
yeah,
nice.
okay, whatever, lotto commercial.
Yeah, right?
No, but really, just in introducing you, you know, one of the things I really enjoy about the work that you do is it's very raw. And so that rawness, to see it on the flip side, to see your authentic self was really, really breathtaking for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, you did a really great job with this film. I mean, it's a 6-minute piece of poetry as well.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you so
Yeah.
much for that.
Yeah.
I wanted to do something different because my roots are in comedy. I've been studying comedy for many years, and that's where my home is. But something spoke to me because, I mean, in all honesty, I was just going through a difficult time, and I thought, one day I literally was in the middle of sleep. I woke up and I thought, I need to write this down because if I don't do this, I'll forget it. And then the next morning, it just kept layering and layering itself. And then I called up the Breton brothers and I was like, guys, I need your help. And they were like, I'm coming through. They shot it. They helped me compose it. I mean, it's really, you know, a piece that is very personal to my heart.
And just because, you know, it ends up being 6 minutes, how long did it take to put the whole thing together?
Well, we shot it in one day, and then I edited it over a period of a week. I'm very aggressive with my goals, but I needed to get it out. I wanted to specifically get it out for Mother's Day, which is when we debuted the film. And I thought, what a perfect time to demonstrate how human kindness can impact society. And the people that teach us that really are our mothers. You know, we're very fortunate enough to have mothers, so why not put that out into the world?
So we are taking, we've got some B-roll in the background. We're just, because we don't want to give the whole thing away, we actually want you guys to head on over to YouTube and check out this video for yourself. It's definitely something that will just sprinkle some sunshine into your life, right? Because it opens up a consciousness in just the simple things, just a simple phone call.
Yeah.
Just a simple phone call. Honestly, I sat through the whole thing, and at first, there's something suspenseful about it as well, because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
All right? And I'm not going to give it away.
Don't give it away.
They have to watch it. They have to watch what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But the simple, kind acts. I mean, right now we're looking at this exchange between a stranger on the train and it just in the conversation that's happening with the eyes. I mean, how often do we come across strange people on the train and then there's some kind of communication going on without words?
And how often do we have those moments where you're just having a bad day and you're tearing up and you do that New York thing of like, don't cry, and then the tear comes down and then someone notices and they do either smile or they look away, but you hope that you can connect with someone for that brief moment just to make sure everything's okay, everything's fine. So that was the exchange that we had there.
Yeah, no, and it was simple.
Yeah.
It was simple, and then the person getting in the way, it's all familiar and relatable,
Yes.
right? But by the same, there was hardly any words, there was hardly any dialogue in the entire film.
I know. It was very experimental for me to go that way, because you know me, I talk all the time, and I just don't stop talking. But this was something different. I felt like the least amount of words, the better, because those are those moments, those quiet moments where you learn the most about people and you connect with them and engage. So hopefully people can connect and realize, sometimes you don't need words. You just need to be there and present.
For me, from just speaking from the urban perspective, to me, it already serves as a classic that should be constantly rolled out for Mother's Day.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea. Okay, Rhina. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm serious.
Absolutely.
It definitely, it sits, it's timeless, it's evergreen, and it makes the point. I love all the notations at the end. That's to give you guys a clue that you have to watch it completely to the end.
To the very end.
Don't shut it off when you think the credits are coming on, because there's more. There's more. And so, what do you see happening with this piece outside of what I just suggested?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm definitely doing that, but I'm also going to submit it to some festivals. I'm trying to put it out there and promote as much as I can, and just see what happens. I haven't lost my comedy roots. Don't worry. I'm still going to be raw and real out there, but I wanted to do something a little different. So
I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I think it's important that we exercise every aspect of who we are as human beings.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you have access to the comedy gives you access to the drama.
Yep.
Right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because there's truth in comedy and there's comedy in truth. But without that, you still have dramatic parts of life and it all connects. So that's something, I mean, even in this piece, there's still like elements of little comedy here and there. I mean, even with the cat caller, I won't say too much, but those are moments that are like, they're funny, but you just have to kind of go, I can't believe that just happened to me.
Right.
And roll it off.
Well, because it's reality.
It's real,
reality.
yeah.
Right, but at the end of the day, what we're really talking about is just being conscious of humanity.
Yes.
And the humanity that lives within.
Yeah.
And just be kind to each other.
Oh my God, just be kind, smile a little bit. If you see someone, say hi, don't be rude. We're all in this together. We live on this earth together. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah?
Yeah. Awesome. Jenny Ruiza, everyone. All right, so check this out. Jenny Ruiza's short film, Her Kind. It's, you can either see it on her website, which is jennyruiza.com, or you can follow her YouTube page at Jenny Ruiza. And Jenny is spelled Jenni, Ruiza, and I'm spelling it out because obviously I want you guys to take a peek. I mean, even though Mother's Day is over, it's still Mother's Month as far as I'm concerned. That's it. That's right. Mother's Day is every day. So check her out. All right, it's called Her Kind. All right, stay tuned because Bobby C's Weekly Sports Roundup is coming up next.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made this vacation happen.
Double points with every purchase?
Cleverly merging promotions.
Love it.
Cross-referencing travel sites. And booking all your flights with those...
Vouchers. I got us bumped.
They were like, oh. But now they're like... Aloha. You aced this vacation. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
I'll never forget the day our landlord called and said, read your lease. No pets allowed. My owner tells him my dog ate the lease, but that didn't work. And now I'm stuck in a shelter. But this pit bull is ready for a new crib. I'm loving, loyal, and play well with others. So don't be intimidated by all my muscles, because the biggest one I have is my heart. That's right, I said it.
We begin our look at sports out at Giants rookie minicamp last weekend. Roll 'em. Take it away.
I think day one was very productive. Thought the guys competed pretty well. They were able to take from the meeting rooms and the walkthroughs to the field the information and really perform at a pretty high level for a first time out. We'll try to add to it today.
It felt good. I was talking to my old former teammates they're all over the place, just talking to everybody. But we're all just excited. I'm really excited to get out here, get a chance to play football. It's been a long time.
It's been fun. Just learning a new defense with new D-line coach, new D coordinator. So it's been fun just picking it up and playing fast.
Coming in just this first weekend is being able to show just that I'm a physical player, that I have the kind of the things that maybe other teams didn't think I had, or kind of prove those fallacies wrong, and then come in, learn the system quick, show that I'm a coachable player.
I feel like I bring athleticism, a lot of athleticism, the versatility. I can do a lot of things out there, and then just energy. I'm young, I got a lot of energy, a lot of just, I want to soak it all in. Soak it in from the vets, soak it in from the coaches, and just be a sponge.
OTAs are just around the corner for the entire team. Big Blue's #2 pick looked impressive in camp. The Bronx native Saquon Barkley stood out for his receiving skills, no less. The running back made an impression with his pass-catching skills, which will be key for the Giants. Despite all of the issues since being a top pick, Eric Flowers could still be key for the G-men on the offensive line. The tackle was at the Giants facility for the first time this offseason, returning earlier in the week. Dallas Cowboys famed tight end Jason Witten recently made headlines for his retirement. His new role will be as a football analyst on Monday Night Football. Witten sees a lot of similarities between his former quarterback, Tony Romo, and the #3 pick in this year's NFL draft, USC's Sam Darnold, the top pick of the New York Jets. Gang Green fans would be happy if Darnold is as good as Romo when healthy, but I'm sure they're hoping that Darnold is better come playoff time than Romo, who never won a Super Bowl. As expected, Robbie Anderson's felony charge for resisting arrest with violence was dropped Thursday in Miami per court records. The closeout memo for the state attorney's office said none of the police officers at the scene collaborated, a claim by another officer who claimed he was pushed by Anderson at a music festival in Miami. Per the Miami Herald, the incident started when Anderson, the Jets' up-and-coming wide receiver who had a backstage pass, wasn't allowed backstage. The Jets will need Anderson in the offensive plans this season if they intend to take another step further. He was one of the bright spots this past season. Now he just needs to stay out of trouble. Giants quarterback Eli Manning is out of trouble. A settlement has been reached in a lawsuit that claimed the Giants signal caller provided bogus game-worn equipment that was sold to unsuspecting collectors. Meanwhile, trouble has found former Yankees second baseman Robinson Cano, and it appears to be on him. Major League Baseball announced suspension for Cano on Tuesday, saying he tested positive for a diuretic, which violates the league's drug prevention and treatment program. The Seattle Mariners second baseman accepted the suspension under the sports drug policy. A player is not automatically suspended for use of a diuretic unless MLB can prove he intended to use it as a masking agent for steroids. Cano's positive test for a banned substance and his subsequent 80-game suspension came as no surprise to one of his former teammates, Mark Teixeira. Teixeira overlapped with Cano for 5 seasons in New York during a guest appearance on the Michael Kay Show on 98.7 ESPN New York on Thursday. The former first baseman was asked if he ever suspected Cano of using performance-enhancing substances. Yeah, I don't really want to get into too much detail. I love Robbie. I'm just not surprised, Teixeira said. Cano, of course, was best friends with both Alex Rodriguez and Melky Cabrera during his time with the Pinstripers, both of which were linked to steroid use. Bartolo Colon has been banned for steroid use in the past, or perhaps he can teach Cano how to rebound from the stigma. Colon certainly doesn't look like a steroid user, but you have to admit that at 44 years old, he's still pretty darn good, and that parts of him are not that muscular, but they do come in handy. Colon stopped a 102-mile-per-hour comebacker with his belly and still got the out this week. In a week, Colon will turn 45 years old. That's 15 years older than the average age of MLB players when the 2018 season started. But Bartolo, now with the Texas Rangers, is still taking the mound every 5th game and showing he can still hang with guys who are 25 years his junior. His Wednesday night start against the Seattle Mariners proved that in spades. He pitched 7 2/3 and allowed no runs, no walks, and just 4 hits. And in the middle of that stellar outing, which the Rangers would end up winning 5-1, he did something that most pitchers wouldn't be able to do, at least not as well as Bartolo did, and that's take a line drive off his gut and still manage to get the out. Staying with baseball, but bringing the conversation back to the Bronx, the Yankees continued their stellar play, but before Mother Nature intervened this week, the Bronx Bombers would take 2 of 3 from the Oakland A's last weekend, but the one game they did lose was a feel-good story for one of their former prospects. The Yankees dealt then-injured Dustin Fowler last season as part of the Sonny Gray deal. Fowler returned to the diamond last Friday night here in the Bronx and recorded his first career hit against Gray. Here's more.
It was awesome. It was a blast. I enjoyed every minute of it. Especially late in the game when they were starting to try to come back. I mean, the crowd was so loud you couldn't hear yourself think. So it was awesome. I had a long journey ahead of me from last year to now, but I was happy to actually get my hit here, so it was fun.
We were pulling for him, and to come back and get his first start here, and get his first hit here, I think was kind of apropos for, coming full circle for him.
I know he doesn't play with you guys anymore, but it was nice to see Dustin get back in action.
Oh yeah, especially picking up his first hit, man. It's many more to come out of him, and he's got a bright future ahead of him, and just wish him the best. It's exciting to see him at Yankee Stadium and playing him where he belongs in the major leagues.
How much did the injury motivate you to get back?
I mean, it was tough. It helped me not take for granted the days looking at stuff in the future instead of now. I just look at it day by day and be thankful I'm back on the field, because I could have easily lost my career in that incident. So it just helps me not take anything for granted and be happy every day I'm on the field.
The Yanks watched as Mother Nature suspended their Tuesday game in the nation's capital with the score tied 3-3 against the Washington Nationals. Rain and inclement weather postponed Wednesday's games too, which will now be made up on June 18th. Rain isn't a big deal. Postponed games, not even a big deal. Not having a hotel when you're stuck at the airport, yeah, that's a big deal. There were no 5-star hotels for the Yanks on Wednesday night. In fact, it was just the opposite for the American League's hottest team. The Yankees spent the night at the International Airport in Virginia. General Manager Brian Cashman said after their scheduled flight to Kansas City for the start of a weekend series against the Royals was delayed for close to 12 hours with hotels in the Washington area at near capacity. At such a late hour, the Yankees opted to spend the overnight either waiting in the terminal or on the plane itself. Hopefully, jet lag doesn't trip up the Yanks in Kansas City. The Bombers did have the off day Thursday. Manager Aaron Boone says the Yanks will tweak their pitching rotation a bit going to Kansas City and Texas. CC Sabathia will now go tonight. Luis Severino pitches Saturday against the Royals. Sonny Gray will close the series Sunday. Masahiro Tanaka now goes Monday in Texas. Domingo Germán follows Tuesday against the Rangers, and Germán will be a bullpen option the next couple of days, too, Boone said. The Yanks will also have options in the outfield after recalling top prospect Clint Frazier. Frazier is still part of the Yankees for now, Aaron Boone says. With a few lefty pitchers on the trip to Kansas City and a fresh bullpen, the Yankees wanted that extra bat. The Yankees reinstated Brandon Drury from the DL and assigned him to AAA Scranton, meaning rookie Miguel Andujar likely will remain New York's starting third baseman for the time being. He's played well enough to stay here in the Bronx. I guess the Knicks felt that actor Ethan Hawke didn't play well enough in the media to keep his free celeb tickets after publicly criticizing the team. Hawke lost his tickets. I've been a Knicks fan for a long time, he said, but I got kicked out of the Garden. They won't give me my tickets anymore. Just wait, Knicks fans. The NBA draft is coming. That will likely be more reason to be critical of the Knicks. The organization hasn't had much luck with the picks, and some could say the same for the lottery. The Knicks were projected to pick 9th, and the lottery kept them at number 9 this year. Knicks GM Scott Perry was asked on ESPN's Draft Combine show if he'll be targeting one of the position players in the first round or if he'll select the best player available. We're still in the talent acquisition phase. Obviously, it's no secret that we could use some more help at the wing position. So when we get down to the 9th pick, at the end of the day, we're going to pick the very best player, Perry said. Things can change drastically between now and draft night on June 21st, but before the NBA lottery, people in the organization were fans of Mikal Bridges, Miles Bridges, and Colin Sexton, among others. Dwayne Casey, a finalist for NBA Coach of the Year, is out in Toronto after winning 59 games, and the Milwaukee Bucks have officially announced the hiring of Mike Budenholzer as their new head coach. In the NBA playoffs, Boston leads Cleveland 2-0 in the East Finals. Game 3 is Saturday in Cleveland. Houston and Golden State are even at 1-1. Game 3 is Sunday at Golden State. In horse racing, Justified draws the 7th post in this weekend's Preakness Stakes. The Kentucky Derby winner is the 1-2 Preakness favorite in the field of 8 Saturday in Baltimore. In motorsport racing, IndyCar is gearing up for the 500. Practice was this week in Indy. This year's 500 will be the last for Danica Patrick. Will Power won the IndyCar Grand Prix on May 12th. We'll have our Indy 500 preview next week on the show. While the Indy 500 goes down next weekend, Formula One will be in Monaco for their Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is having a season to remember in F1. He'll be tough to beat. Another famous course is up next for the MotoGP riders. Le Mans is next on the schedule. That's this Sunday in France. And former F1 star Felipe Massa is heading to Formula E. He has signed a deal to race in the electric-powered Cars Series, which is coming to Brooklyn, New York in July. And on a final sports roundup note, the Supreme Court cleared the way on Monday for states to legalize sports betting, striking down a 1992 federal law that had prohibited most states from authorizing sports betting. The 6-3 ruling is a victory for New Jersey and other states who have considered allowing sports gambling as a way to encourage tourism and tax revenue. The NCAA, NFL, and NBA have backed the federal prohibition. Those are the headlines. We hit the C-list where I will tell you why the NBA is ready for a woman head coach and Becky Hammon is ready for the job. I typically have used this time of year to celebrate moms in the C-list. I thought about doing so last weekend, of course, but I was hoping to save the C-list for this week's show with the hopes that the Milwaukee Bucks should do something the NBA has never done before. I also found it fitting since Sunday will be my mom's birthday, and I know as a feminist, she spent her entire life championing women's rights. I thought we would be able to celebrate our first female president, but of course the nation had different plans, and it still looks like the NBA might not make Hammon historic, but the news that Hammon was becoming the first to land an interview for an NBA head coaching job was big news. After another underwhelming season, the Milwaukee Bucks fired their head coach and reportedly invited Hammon, an assistant coach for the San Antonio Spurs, for a first-round interview to replace him, making her the first woman ever with a shot at an NBA head coaching position. She's making cracks in a glass ceiling few people even notice. Now, let's be clear. I'm not advocating Hammon to be the first female head coach solely because she's a female. In fact, I think she was one of the smartest players in the WNBA when she played for the New York's Liberty. She's also part of Greg Popovich's coaching tree in San Antonio. She's qualified. After the news broke, Pau Gasol, a San Antonio Spurs player who has experienced Hammon's coaching firsthand, and wrote an open letter as to knocked down a few of the silly arguments and talking points against Coach Hammond's candidacy and the larger idea of a female NBA head coach. Hammond has proved that a woman can make it in a man's world. That was a lesson I learned as a kid, thanks to my mom, and I think it's time that the NBA and many of the other professional sports leagues got the memo too. Happy birthday, Mom. That's your sports. I'm Bobby C.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. Behold the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Hello and welcome back to Open, everyone. You know, we're always inviting you to get social with us, online that is. Tweet us at BronxNet TV and tweet me too at Rhina Valentin. All right, so it's that time of the year again. You know, it's my favorite time of the year. That's where dance is celebrated by different cultures and dance organizations throughout New York City. The 12th annual New York City Dance Parade. Right around the corner, and it's a joyous time when everyone comes together to dance and celebrate dance. That's right. Dance, 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 dance. Woo! Joining us now to share more about this year's festivities, we welcome Dance Parade production lead Adele Godfrey and Dance Parade 2018 Grand Marshal, Ms. Barefeet herself, Michaela Malazzi.
Hi.
Hello
Hi.
and welcome. As you can see, I'm uber enthusiastic about the dance parade.
Good. Yeah.
As I'm sure you are.
Absolutely.
All right, so let's begin with you, Adele,
Yes.
because, well, we hope it doesn't rain on us tomorrow.
We are praying to the sun gods that they will come out and play and we can dance in the sun, but if not, we're prepared to dance in the rain.
And so
Rain
it
or
is.
shine.
And so it is. All right, so how much time goes into preparing?
We start back in about December. Start with production meetings once a month leading up to it. And then these last 3 weeks, it's just pretty much around the clock production, just putting in all the time to organize the 10,000 dancers and over 150 groups that we have, over 80 unique styles. And just to get that many unique styles of dance in, it takes a lot of work and preparation and organizing.
So how many dance organizations we're talking about?
We have 154.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting,
It
isn't
is very exciting.
Well, Miss four-time Emmy winner Barefeet Michaela. Welcome and congratulations on being honored as the Grand Marshal this year.
Thank you, Rena, and thank you, Adele. It's a huge honor. Like you, Dance Parade has always been my favorite weekend, and I used to live in the East Village, so I would just go downstairs and just dance along with everyone in the streets, and it's this joyous, happy time, even when it rains, because it's rained a couple times, but you dance in the rain, it's fine.
It doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't
the
matter.
dance police are still going to give you wet
Right,
tickets
right.
if you're not dancing.
Right,
no
right.
sour pussies.
Right.
And so, what does this mean to you, though?
Well, as a New Yorker...
Let's share it with everybody a little bit about Barefeet.
Yeah, so...
because you dance around the world, and now you're dancing here in New York.
Yeah.
And you're actually... I'm sorry, bringing visibility to multicultural and, dance and having this exchange in language and experience is so lovely.
Thank you.
Yes.
It's a dream come true. It really is. I think for this year, because it was that multicultural embrace of our diversity in our city, is why Dance Parade really wanted to bring me on as a Grand Marshal, which is a huge honor for my work, right? We could dance around the world forever, which is incredible. But I thought, as a New Yorker, I've danced with so many people here in New York City. Why not focus on us right here? We can travel the world within the 5 boroughs, and that's exactly what we did in our last season. And we go to El Barrio in Spanish Harlem, in the Bronx. Here we dance in the Bronx. We dance in Little Haiti out in Flatbush, Brooklyn, Little Ukraine in the East Village. I dance in Harlem. I dance on Broadway. It's incredible to see the diversity in our city through music and dance. And what's even better is the response that we get from people of like, A, I didn't know that existed in this place, or B, I love this place, I'm so glad you're showing it to everyone else. And then this is airing all over the United States, so people get to see a different side of New York. You always see Times Square, Statue of Liberty, but these are these niche sort of little enclaves of beauty that are here in New York that never get the recognition that they deserve. So we try and do our part, and it's a huge honor to be able to meet all these people.
Oh my gosh, love Dance Hidden Treasures. Love that. I want credit for that.
Yeah. It's online, so we got it. Don't worry.
Adele, oh my gosh. I can only imagine what planning looks like within the entire committee. I mean, you know, of course my visual is like everybody's dancing around with the papers. You know.
Well, you have to do like the lineup and.
Yeah, it takes about 8 hours just to get the lineup together, make sure, and just to get all the communication out to everybody. And then tonight we have all the last minute things kind of coming in and coming together, and we'll be out there. It's exciting,
Okay,
though.
so let's just share as quickly as we possibly can the diversity that's going to participate in this year's parade.
Absolutely. So we have everything from ballet, we have tap dancing. We're going to start off the parade with a fuchsia Congo dance. Ooh. We have drummers, African drummers.
Can I say my favorite group?
Yeah, sure.
One of my favorites, and I'm not being biased, but the Caporales group. The Bolivian Caporales come in like this army of bells and whistles and men in suits with hats. And that is one of my favorites, I have to say.
In large numbers, I might add.
Huge,
huge. I co-hosted the parade. I was at the grandstand 2 years ago, and I want to mention to you guys, I'm going to be co-hosting it again this year. So I'm going to be there in the rain, regardless, dancing, enjoying like a little kid. And that's what it does. It brings out the little kid in everyone.
It really does.
All right, so we kind of gave our favorites, and now...
My favorite. So this year we actually have a pirate ship coming in, and we're going to have ecstatic dancers all around kind of coming through the parade. And it's just huge pirate ship with a mast and a mermaid on the front kind of coming in through the parade. And so that's going to be about just about 20 minutes into the parade.
That's going to be interesting, seeing a mermaid dance.
Yeah. We got it. We got it. All our visuals just goes to the tail.
Undulation.
We'll do a bare feet episode on bare. Actually, I got approached by synchronized swimming. Oh. Something to consider.
Yeah.
You should have tanks next year for the dance parade.
Lovely,
got a
lovely.
good idea there.
Now, I don't know how you're going to get that in the parade, but okay. I'm like, okay.
It's an idea.
Well, you know, anything's possible.
Creative people live in New York.
Before we go, let's share with everyone the parade information as far as the time and the start and where it begins.
Yes.
And also, I want to set up the dancer that we're going to be presenting today. Who can give a little background on him before we go?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the parade starts on 21st and Broadway at 1 o'clock. We'll have an opening ceremony starting at about 12:45, where the Grand Marshals will be cutting the ribbon. March down Broadway into University Place, and then we make a left on 8th Street, St. Mark's, and going all the way into the park, right into Tompkins Square Park, where there we'll have 5 stages and a huge festival that goes till 7 p.m.
Beautiful.
So that will be the day.
Yes, I know. And so we're going to get a little taste of the dance parade, right?
Yes. We have Anthony from Los Andoleros. Sorry, I can't say.
Andoleros?
Andoleros.
Andoleros.
Andujeros.
Andujeros. We got it right.
And he's going to give us a little bit of samba dancing here and a little taste.
Nice. Yes. Beautiful. Yeah, that's the idea, right?
For Carnival.
Yeah, for Carnival. All right, we already started here, but we gotta hand it over to him. Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you again.
All right, and when can people see Bare Feet?
If you go to travelbareFeet.com, all the information is there, but it's on NYC Life, and we're going to be on an NYC Life and NYC Media float with a live band. So if you guys want to dance with me at the dance parade, I'm going to be there. It's going to be so much fun.
Oh my gosh. Bandoleo, bandoleo. All right, you guys don't go anywhere, because when we return, we're going to get a taste of what we should expect from this year's dance parade.
keeps me warm. She 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 keeps me warm.
We are neighbors and best friends.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Our family is no less than any other family.
Hey, welcome back. Here to give us a sneak peek snack of what's in store for this year's dance parade. We welcome Anthony Pimentel giving us a taste of Los Andulleros.
Are you ready? Everybody dancing. A bailar todo el mundo. From Tito el Bambino.
La potencia más grande, República Dominicana y Puerto Rico. Pura vida. El Mayimbe. En el carnaval baila la calle de día, baila la calle de noche, baila la calle de día.
Para que juntemos nuestras alegrías. Baila la calle de noche, baila la calle de día.
Pura vida. La potencia más grande, República Dominicana y Puerto Rico. Ataca Fernandino.
La esperanza tuya es la esperanza mía.
Baile la calle de noche, baile la calle de día. Para que juntemos nuestras alegrías. Baile la calle de noche, baile la calle de día.
Baile la calle de noche y de día.
Baile la calle de noche, baile la calle de día. Para que el pueblo baile, brinque y goce. Baile la calle de noche, baile la calle de día.
Amigo.
Si ya, Fernandito, el Mayimbe con el marrón. Saquen el botelleo pa' que beban y todo el mundo goce. Pa' que todo el mundo goce.
Y dos pasos para adelante y dos para atrás para que todo el mundo goce.
Y damos una vueltita mano arriba pa' que todos gocen.
Saquen el botelleo para que todo el mundo brinque y goce. A la calle. Baile la calle de noche, de día, de noche.
Is it safe? Woo, Anthony! Wepa! Oh my gosh, all right, hard rap, oh snap. All right, you guys, once again, this year's dance parade is taking place on Saturday, May 19th. The festivities kick off at 1 o'clock from 21st and Broadway all the way down to Thompson Square Park, where the Dance Fest will take place. And for more information, you can always visit danceparade.org. That is our show today, mi gente. Thanks to all our guests for coming through and to you, our viewers, for tuning in. If you missed any part of the show, you can check out the recablecast tonight and 24 hours a day at BronxNet.tv. I'm Rhina Valentin, and from all of us here at Open, may the universe provide peace, prosperity, and y amor. Adios, and remember, dancing is life. Woo!
Para que juntemos nuestras alegrías. Baila la calle de noche, baila la calle de día.
Pura vida. La potencia más grande, República Dominicana y Puerto Rico. Ataca Fernandino.
La esperanza tuya es la esperanza.